Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tuesday Night Truck League. I am your host, Noah Walter, joined up in the booth today with Jeremy Jones. Honestly, I'm glad you're up here. It's going to give everyone in our audience a little bit of break of my constant voice that they always hear week in, week out. Hey, I think it's a great opportunity for everyone to go and take a see if they can. Just being able to pop up and really experience things from the other side of the aisle. I mean, nobody really gets to see it unless they're in it. So I think it's going to be a good experience for everybody all around. Well, in any case, I am absolutely glad to have you up here while we are here at Rockingham. We're here with the NIS service Last Chance 100. I'm excited for tonight's race here at The Rock.
Any chance that I have to go up here is probably going to be the upcoming cars tour that they're going to have here with the late models and super late models. Um, it's only 2.5 hours from my house, so I hope soon I can get out to this track. I've been past it, never been in it, but I hear it's a great racetrack to go to.
Come on, a high banked 1 mile, kind of D-shaped oval. How is this not a great place for, racing? There's just so much going on day in, day out.
Yeah, and with the track conditions, I mean, this place is bumpy, especially coming off turn four. I mean, you sit there, you looking at practice, and I ran a couple of practice laps earlier just to kind of see where I would shake out if I was running this, and I see a lot of people losing it off turn four and turn two. It's just the transition from the banking to the straightaway is really bumpy, and that's what gives this track characteristic. It's bumpy, it's fast, and you're gonna have to hang on to it if you want to survive this track.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just such an interesting racetrack. So much history here, as you said, and just so much going on. I'm excited to see what everyone's going to do tonight, especially as this is the last track before the playoffs start here with the Tuesday Night Truck League. Next week, we're going to have an off week here at the Tuesday Night Truck League TNT. And I think this is going to be a very intense race for especially our bottom three at the cutoff line. That's going to be Brett Taylor, Clint Spillman, and Chris Sawyer, who are very close all together in points. Who do you think is going to get it this week?
I mean, it's kind of up in the air. I mean, each driver's had their has had their times during the season. Chris is a very good racer. He's smart. He tries to stay out of the way. It only shows up when he needs to. I think you said Brad Taylor's in there too. He's been around here for a long time. He's a good racer. I mean, it's anybody's race. It's just who can stay ahead of the mayhem, because that's definitely what's going to happen.
Absolutely. And now, with not too much time left in practice here, about 7 minutes, we're going to head on in and go ahead and see what's going on here during the practice session. I'm excited, especially as we've seen a lot of interesting things going on so far. Currently in practice, Brandon Hoff is leading right now, just barely ahead of Alex Fox and Sean Howell. These guys have been fighting for the top three the entire time. How have they been doing it this season?
Fox, he's always been a great driver. I mean, he's extremely fast in the other leagues I've been in with him. So is Brandon Hoff. Great talent, a heck of a driver. I kept up with a little bit of his road to pro stuff. I was kind of hoping he would make it because, I mean, this dude, it seems like each week he shows up, he's up there at the front. I know, um, I know he's new to the league, And so far, I mean, he's got the speed. He's definitely got a lot of talent.
Absolutely, and I think that was probably best demonstrated over at Martinsville, where he completely dominated that track and was able to put on a stellar performance and win by an astounding multiple seconds.
Oh yeah, it was very impressive. For him to come from the back. I mean, it was amazing to watch. It's always a great time when I get to race against Brandon. Me and him's had nothing but respect for each other. Um, I tried to work with him a little bit at Talladega a couple of weeks ago, and I just ain't got the speed he's got. I mean, he is wicked fast.
Absolutely, I mean, like it is just impressive how fast some of these guys here in the Tuesday Night Truck League can be. It's not something that we always see out of all these iRacing leagues. Is just consistently fast drivers, but it's nice to see, Brandon and then especially your guys that all locked into the playoffs day in day out, not only winning races but being competitive with each other. And that brings me here to Clint Spillman, who is currently on the bubble right now here at Rockingham, and he's currently fourth fastest here at the Rock.
He's definitely another one to watch. He's had his moments this year, but when they can actually put a race together, he could be pretty hard to beat. Just got to stay out of those wrecks. I know he was in a lot of them last week. I actually went back and watched the stream to kind of study on the whole commentary stuff, and as I was watching it, I saw some of the stuff that he got up into, and I was like, man, there's just no way to avoid it. And with this track, it's going to be kind of the same way. It's just all about who can keep their nose clean.
Definitely. I want to thank everyone that's joined us out in the chat so far. I appreciate it. Hello to everyone that is there. I'm just really excited to, finally be getting underway so soon. I mean, we don't see lots of racing at the Rock anymore, and it's so good that our drivers here that are so competitive are finally going to be able to back at this historic raceway. Here, especially presented by NIS Service, one of the main sponsors here with the Tuesday Night Truck League.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the Rock has just got so much history, and the day that NASCAR said that they won't coming back to this track, it just kind of broke my heart a little bit because this racetrack has put on a lot of good races.
It definitely has, and something I think we're seeing right now is the little bit of impatience we're seeing with our drivers before the qualifying session starts as everyone's slamming into the walls.
Yeah, these practices. I mean, the first 45 minutes we go out there, we try to see what our trucks are doing, see how far we can push it. And about like the last 10 minutes, we just kind of goof around and get all the craziness out of us, and so we can race like we're supposed to during the race and not do anything stupid that could cause anybody else problems or ourselves any problems. Because I mean, it just takes one bad move and it can mess a lot of people up in just like that.
Definitely, and that's something we're definitely have to watch out for. I've seen a couple races here on iRacing on, especially the ARCA series, how they try to handle this track, and it can be very deadly with any slight mistake. So, keeping these things under control in this, especially in a practice session here at the Rock, is very important. And I do have a question for you, Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
What is the environment you would say on average here with the Tuesday Night Truck League as you guys are racing?
It's been fun. I've been in several leagues. It's always so serious, but this league, yeah, we take it serious to an extent, but we've all raced around each other for the last couple of years, and it's anybody's race pretty much. It's it's not as stressful as some of the high tier leagues that is on iRacing. It's just a bunch of friends coming together and just trying our best. If we mess up, oh well. It's just the stress level is not really there. You're just having fun with some friends. That's all it is, and uh, that's what the leaders of the league wanted, is just stress free fun. and that's the way I feel when I race this league.
Good, and that's honestly really glad. It makes me really glad to hear that. And one thing that I've started noticing as a pattern is the leagues that take this more laid back approach and really want to just make sure everyone has fun as a really good group of people is what allows them to produce really exciting racing. I mean, we saw that at Martinsville. You know, a positive environment, especially within some of your top leaders, can really provide good racing, but we've seen that with other places too, like CASCAR. Whenever they race together, that's always a really positive environment, and it helps everyone keep clean with each other and give each other respect over on track, and it really makes an environment as a whole better.
Definitely. I mean, I've been in quite a few leagues where I won't really having any fun. Um, when they talked about starting this league up together, I was like, okay, this is something I could do. I mean, it's just like I said earlier, it's just a bunch of friends having fun. That's all it is. It's just friendly competition. And yeah, sometimes it might get out of hand a little bit, but at the end of the day, we're here just to put on a show for the fans. Just like
Definitely.
just like NASCAR drivers. They're all friends. Even though some of them might say they might hate their guts, they don't like them, which I know that sometimes that could be miscued, but they're really friends off the track. And that's the way I see this. Yeah, we can get competitive. We can get mad at each other, but at the end of the day, we'll talk it out and come back the next week and try to do better. Try to put on a show for the fans.
Well, if there's anything that I think proves that, it absolutely has to be the constant wrecking we've seen with each other here in our last 5 minutes in
Oh
practice
yeah.
as we move over to qualifying. I think I at least showed at least 10 wrecks going on here, just showing how chaotic it can all be.
Oh yeah. It's better to get it out now instead of in the middle of the race. That's I mean, if you can get it out during practice, that's fine. But when it comes race time, these boys are going to strap up. They're going to show what they're made of and how smart they can be when it comes to being behind the wheel of a truck. I was about to call it a car, but it's a truck.
All right, as we move into our qualifying session, we're going to follow along with someone we usually don't, Kevin Carter here in the number 70 Ford F-150, sponsored by Best Water Technology and Checks, if I'm not mistaken. Ooh, big slide there. We just see out of turns 3 and 4 into the wall. I think that's going to be a common thing we're going to be seeing so far throughout tonight, trying to keep on that bottom lane, but the struggles it's going to be keeping it under control.
It definitely is. I mean, this track when it's baking in the sun, it is very very slick. The few practice runs that I did make before coming in the booth, I felt I felt pretty good. But after a certain amount of laps, it's hard to keep it on the bottom. And then with the bumps, the character that this track has, being on the bottom is going to be very difficult throughout the race because your truck just wants to, when you lose your grip, the truck wants to drift up. And the real problem is going to be coming off turn 2 when you have no grip, the track is slick. You're gonna hit the wall, and it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt the truck. I um I come off of turn 2, I think a couple of laps into a run, and I had the wheel cranked all the way to the left, and I was just playing with the throttle, and I still hit the wall. So it's definitely going to be something throughout the night.
Absolutely, keeping an eye on all that is going to be a main challenge. And the thing that I think is going to really be our, strategy call here has to be the tire wear and how you're going to manage it. Trying to keep these tires, in the right temperature zones so that they're not too hot or too cold, and really being able to just hold on to them is going to be a real challenge. As Alex Fox now says the fastest lap there, as we got to see it towards the end. I mean, that's an impressive lap he was able to just pull off and kind of top the leaderboard there. A 23.184 is quite a lap that we're seeing right now. I mean, it's not often you see an incredibly fast lap like that.
No, it definitely isn't. If it was a cool track, it'd be even faster. It's just anytime the guys are going to come down pit road, they're going to want they're going to want 4 Goodyear tires. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, anytime that you get opportunity to get some tires, it's going to make a big difference. But when that green flag run comes out, oh, they're going to be sliding all over the place.
Absolutely. We're going to hop over now to the number 30 of Mitchell Muma right now. He is another driver that's been locked into the playoffs. I mean, he's got nothing really to lose for the moment, but he wants to make sure that he holds on to everything right now, as going into the playoffs with a good amount of points is going to allow him to carry some confidence going into the season. Believe it or not, it's something that really does affect a season if you have confidence or not. If you're lacking, going into these races, it's just going to hurt you, and it will not help at all.
It definitely will. I mean, I've been on the side of that. I had a great run the first race of this season, and then the second race didn't go my way, and I got kind of dejected, and it carried over to the next race. And then when I did the next race, I was like, all right, it's time to get your head in the game. You had one bad race. Don't let that dictate your season. I think the last couple of races before last week, I had a couple of top tens, and that kind of that kind of boosted me up a little bit. And I thought I had a great shot last week. I ran inside the top 10 most of the race. I was okay at Martinsville. I won't like Brandon Hoff. But I was a top 10 truck, and it's just confidence is it can do a whole lot. You have one good race, then you feel good the next race.
Absolutely. And after our qualifying session where Alex Fox was able to top the board with a whole bunch of cars not qualifying, we're going to go ahead and bring him up in the booth and give him a quick interview.
All right.
Alex, is Noah and Jeremy up in the booth? Do you read us? Alex, do you read us? Okay, I'm going to take that as a no. All right, that is a common one that we see often.
Yeah. Normally normally he's on the mic a lot, but he might be talking to his other. Thought he was talking to his teammates, or he might have got something real quick before he gritted up.
That makes sense to me. Let's go ahead and bring up Sean Howell, who qualified in second. Sean, it's Noah and Jeremy up in the booth. Do you read us?
Copy, I gotcha.
There we go. All right, now I know it's not on my end. Well, you just qualified on the front row outside lane. How are you feeling?
I would have rather qualified third, to be honest. I would be on the inside. The outside is not where you want to be here, but we're fast. It's fast track. Just gotta keep this thing in one piece this race.
Absolutely, but I think so far you're going to be doing all right. I mean, you've had a great time, and you've got a lot of good people around you. What's your biggest fear right now?
Turn one. I mean, as long as I think we're gonna burn up the right front tire here a lot this race here. So gotta try to keep the right front tire cool, so we can keep it turning. It gets tight on the longer run, so I just gotta try not knock down the wall or just lose that right front tire too early.
All right, well, that makes a lot of sense to me. I'm going to have to wish you good luck. Is there anything you want to say to our audience before I let you go?
I hope everyone enjoys the show.
All right, thank you very much for your time, Sean. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, that was the number 38 of Sean Howell, and we're going to go ahead and run through your gridding order. So, starting on pole in the inside lane, that is going to be the number 31 of Alex Fox, and that's outside we just brought up. That's Sean Howell. Second row inside lane, that's going to be Quinn Gingrich, and on his outside is going to be the 26 of Derek Stanley. Third row inside lane, that's the 88 of Clint Spillman. Keep an eye on him. He has on the bubble here for the playoffs. On his outside is going to be Brett Murphy. As we move down into the fourth row, Lucas Strayer brings up the 7th position with the inside lane, and on his outside is going to be the number 16 of Ben McDonald. Fifth row inside lane, that is going to be going to John Bohr, and then on his outside is going to be the number 70 of Kevin Carter. Sixth row inside lane, that goes to Kevin Bruns, and then on his outside, Justin Bruns, my apologies. And on his outside is going to be Mitchell Muma. Seventh row, that is going to be Brandon Hoff, with Chris Sawyer going to be on his outside. Then Sam Donato and Jacob McMillan bring up the rear of the field. All right, I'm excited for this great race tonight. Jeremy, how are you feeling?
It's definitely going to be it's definitely going to be a race. I see that Alex missed the start, and he's going to have to start from pit road, and so that's definitely going to change up a couple positions, especially from the inside.
Absolutely. That's going to really affect a lot of guys, especially guys like Clint and Quinn there. As we go to the green flag now, here as we go across the line. And wow, what a huge jump we're seeing out of Quinn right now as they head into turn number 1. Clint Spillman riding up that inside lane. Derek Stanley caught in the outside, out to dry. We head down Thunder Alley, the backstretch, and we see everyone starting to spread out just a lot more. Bit of two-wide racing we're seeing right now. That's going to be Brett Murphy there on the inside of the 68 there of John Boyer. As we now move through turns 3 and 4, the high banks here at Rockingham, North Carolina?
Yeah, North Carolina.
Okay, forgive me. I upstate New Yorker. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right. I mean, this is going great already. Sean Howell, although, is moving up really fast. Quinn Gingrich has fallen back. And Clint Spillman, your man that you need to watch here for the playoffs, is already up into second place, chasing down that P1 position.
Oh, yeah. He had a good start. It looked like there was some confusion on the start of the race. It looked like a truck had jumped the start a little bit, but he gave the position back, and I guess there would be no penalty then.
Well, that's the good part of here that, you know, it's all the respect that you have for your fellow drivers. I mean, if you know that you've done something wrong and you're completely willing to, you know, admit that and surrender, it's going to make everyone around you appreciate it a lot more and provide better close racing later on. That's going to make this a lot more interesting later on. And it's not like Quinn is, you know, fallen to the end of the field or anything. You know, he's here and he's already getting chased down by Brendan Huff, who's moved up several positions already. I mean, come on, moving from, what was he, 13th all the way up to 5th?
Something like that.
Yeah, all the way up into lap 5, and he's now going on the inside there of Quinn Gingrich. This man is on the move. He did this last week at Martinsville as well.
Like I said, he's got a lot of speed, and he's definitely the one to watch. He's got a lot of talent, and I don't know anybody better that can go from the back to the front in just a short amount of laps.
Absolutely, the Clearman Esports driver is already on the move. However, he is going to have to be mindful of the drivers in front of him and how they were racing last week at Martinsville. Lucas Strayer was able to put up a good run for his money against Brandon. He did not let him by too easily, and I don't think he's going to let it happen again. Lucas Strayer is known for being quite defensive, and he's going to keep up that reputation, and Clint Spillman right now is going to do anything he can to stay in the playoff bubble and get himself into the next rounds.
Oh yeah, it looks like he's falling back a little bit. He's probably a good 4 car lengths back, but other than that, I mean, right now they're just trying to save their stuff. It's a long race. It's 100 laps. The saying goes, you can't win the race on the first lap. So it was just like everybody's just kind of spreading out, seeing how the trucks are feeling. That's the smart way of doing it.
Absolutely, I would agree. And I think this is really a good time to really experiment with that right now, being up in a good spot like Clint is. And it's also a good time to back off because you're going to want to make these tires last for as long as possible. These tires are not going to be kind to you, especially here at this high bank short track. I mean, it is impossible to keep these things under control, especially when your suspension's doing tons of work, your tires are doing all the work, you're going to have to manhandle the wheel. There is just a lot going on right now, and trying to, you know, keep it pushed in, day out is going to be extremely difficult for these guys.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the few practice laps I ran earlier, tires were going after lap 7 or 8. I was really having to fight it. Couldn't keep it on the bottom like I did in the previous laps. They're definitely going to have their hands full, and it's whoever can save their equipment better is probably going to be your winner.
Absolutely, and it looks like Sean Howell is someone that's already mastered that, as he's almost a second away from his second place rival of Clint Spillman. Sean Howell has already been locked into the playoffs, and he's already on a move. And with his gap extending just a little bit lap by lap, that also increases the gap between him and Brendan Hoff, last week's winner, and a really big contender that we had over at Talladega.
Yeah, the Talladega race was just it's a toss-up. It's playing chess. But when it comes to these intermediate tracks and short tracks, you're definitely going to have to maintain your equipment. It's just, I don't know. It's hard to put into words. I've tried both ways. Seems like it never works, but somehow I'll find myself around the top 10 and just trying to keep the truck in one piece.
Hey, sometimes it's just that being in the right place at that right time, and it makes all the difference. Especially that's what we're seeing with this number 9 Valvoline truck, as he was able to get by Lucas Strayer, and he's now chasing down Clint Spillman. He's getting to the point where it is going to be very aggressive for moves he's going to have to make if he wants to try to win this race. And this is a question for Brandon. He's already not going to be able to make it in the playoffs, whether he wins this race or not. He joined in too late in the season. He can't make it. Is he going to risk everything and try to shoot up as the inside now? He goes on the inside of the 88 and clears him extremely fast through that corner.
He's got nothing to lose. I mean, he can go out and drive however he wants because he knows everybody around him is racing for a playoff spot. But with him, he has nothing to lose. He started. I think this is his third race. He did well at Talladega. He got a top 10. Last week he got a win. This week, if he just has nothing to lose. He can go all out if he wants to.
Absolutely. And the thing that makes this a little bit more interesting looking at our playoff bubble here is that Brett Taylor did not make the start. He's not going to be here. So that is already going to be a huge issue there going forward with our championship. So that kind of leaves the battle right now between Clint Spillman and Chris Sawyer. And right now, Spillman is winning by a lot as Brandon Hoff moves up into second place. Bit ago, and Clint's falling back more and more. However, one person that's not doing too hot right now, that's Chris Sawyer in the number 3. He's been struggling a little bit so far at this 1 mile short oval. I'm not surprised. I mean, this thing is just impossible to tame.
Yeah, but I expect right now, Chris, I've been racing with him for the last couple of months, and he likes to save his stuff towards the end of the race. Right now, he's just feeling it out, seeing how far he can go, what's his limits. But when it's go time, I expect to see that 3 truck up there battling top 5, possibly even a win, because he's been going to this track for a while too, so he knows how to get around here. He's right now. I just think even though that he's on the edge of playoff cut, he's just really protecting his stuff right now.
Absolutely understood. And one thing he does have going for him right now, even as he's about to get passed there by Jacob McMillan in the 21 truck, you know, Jacob's been gaining the last couple laps. A lot of the cars in front of them do have damage, whether skims of the wall with each other or just kind of getting thrown all over the place. This track is hard to drive. We were talking about that, how it's going to be tough managing the tire wear, and how you said that the tires are gone after around lap 7 to 10. I mean, we're on lap 20 right now. These tires got to be gone already, and it's going to be a handful. So if Chris is going to be able to keep his stuff safe, like you said, he's going to be in the best position out of anyone, as it looks like that truck does not have any damage.
Oh yeah, and especially with the new damage model, it just seems like if you just scrape the wall, you can talk about aerodynamics is out the window. I mean, these trucks are built purposely for aero, and if you just mess up one corner of the truck, well, there goes your aero. I mean, the aerodynamics is just going to be completely messed up. You're not going to be fast. You're going to be tight. Sometimes you might be loose. It's just all staying out of that wall.
Absolutely. And I guess right now that is going to be another big concern for Sean Howell, as he's trying to hold off for the moment Brandon Hoff, but he's gaining lap by lap. He dropped that from almost a second already down to half a second within 2 laps. I think right now that Sean has a lot to be worried about with getting this race win. However, he is locked into the playoffs for the next several races, so he does have a little bit of a breather there.
Of course, I mean, Sean's been a clean driver all year. He's just one of the good guys that runs you clean. Never had any issues, and it looks like he had a little mishap coming off turn 2. It's that transition from turn 2 to backstretch. If you hit it just right, it's going to throw your car up towards the wall, and that's what got Brandon to catch him. Was he just made one little mistake, and now Brandon's on him, looking for the lead.
Absolutely. We see this 9 Valvoline truck on the rear bumper of the 38 now as they go through turns 3 and 4, heading towards the front stretch. I mean, this is an impressive race to watch. Trying to watch these two drivers keep control of these trucks across this extremely bumpy racing surface that's a really integral part to NASCAR history. You can see there just how much suspension work is going on there with that number 9 truck. The contrast between his car and the pavement is really clear to see just how much he's bumping around. And trying to keep the wheel straight under those conditions is hard to do. When you're having a lot going on as he looks to the inside there of the 38 and he blocks down low, he's not going to let him by too easily as they now shoot across the start-finish line into turn number 1. Brandon Hoff looking to the outside, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, it looks like Brandon's trying to go on the high side. Now they're having to fight a lap truck. It looks like the lap truck's going to get out of the way. It looks like Brandon's trying to use the draft off the 70 truck. And, but, I mean, he's got a good run now.
There he goes. He's looking to the outside, that's for sure.
Yeah, if he can pass him on the outside, Brandon is going to be super fast. I mean, it's hard to pass on the outside. All the passes this year I've seen has been on the bottom. There's some tracks you could pass on the outside, but there's not many of them. And with this track, it's a one groove track, and it looks like he's going to back up a little bit and recalculate his strategy on how to get around him.
Definitely, we saw that down the straight there. He looked out wide and then he just slammed on the brakes. He wasn't going to take it, but now he has a huge run as they go down the backstretch. He shoots to the bottom. The 38 out wide. That's the number 9 of Brandon Hoff on the inside, taking away the lead from Sean Howell, who's been moved to the second place position with his Toyota Tundra, but he has the bottom lane. He's going to take the bottom apron. He's not going to let it happen too easily, but I don't think it's enough. Although he has the bottom lane this time. Oh, no. Brandon's completely cleared him. He's gone.
Yeah. If I was in Sean's shoes, I wouldn't have gone to the apron. I tried to stay close to that quarter panel as I could to get the air off of him. Because, yeah, in some ways it will help on most tracks, but with Rockingham, going to the apron does not work.
Yeah, it's something that you definitely have to consider as a strategy. Sometimes it's just enough, sometimes it isn't. It definitely got him closer across the line, but it just wasn't enough, as you were saying. You know, with the arrow, it would have been a better long-term move to stay as close as possible. One thing I'm surprised we didn't see there is Brandon looking to only the outside there on Sean Howell, is because that was his kind of like distinctive move we saw over at Martinsville. When people weren't letting him through, he just passed on the outside, and that's not an easy feat to accomplish over at Martinsville. So if he's able to accomplish it there, he'd be able to accomplish it here. 2 one-group tracks, both short tracks.
No doubt. I mean, he's just... something about Martinsville and Brandon, it just goes together. As you saw last week, it seemed like no matter where he went, he was making moves. I know he moved around me quite a few times, but I mean, and then it goes to the respect factor. If someone's behind me and I know they're faster, I'm not going to race them. I'm going to move out the way and show them some respect, because I know the way I want to be raced. If I know I'm faster, the guy moves over, well, guess what? I'm going to do the same thing, because I'm not
Caution's
no
out
superstar.
here at Rockingham. Apologies to cut you off there. We just all of a sudden had a caution. We're going to have to go in.
You're good.
For that.
You're fine.
All right, we have your caution here at Rockingham. Let's go ahead and bring that up so you can go ahead and see what's going on. So we're following on right now. We can see Kevin Carter leaving turn number 2. It looks like he just loses it going up into, the exit out of 2, comes down, hits Quinn Gingrich there in the number 48 truck, and they both of them slide going back up. Oh, and just a huge collection there. The 68. absolutely just obliterated. It looks like Alex Fox was able to slide on through, and Clint Spillman looks like he was able to make it escaped as well. I mean, that is a close one, and that's very dangerous, and you hate to see it, especially so close to our stage here on lap number 40.
Yeah, it's like we said earlier. It's all about tires. It just looked like he got tight. It looked like he got tight and just got in the wall, and that's a helpless feeling because you're trying to do everything to stay off that wall, and then when you got other people caught up in your wreck, I mean, you just hate it for them. But luckily, we are given one fast repair, so be able to take that and get back out because it looked like with the contact that Kevin got, he did blow his motor, so he's going to burn his fast repair up before the even stage break, and you still got a little over half the race left to race on. So he's going to have to manage it if he wants a good position.
Absolutely, and I think the part that's going to be most interesting here is not only the bunch up of the field that we're going to get over on this restart, it's how close we are to the stage break. I don't think that we're going to hit lap number 40 here under caution, so I think it's going to have to be a blast to the finish for these guys to see who can get the stage points.
Yeah, you got 5 laps. Try to get all you can get because I believe if I ain't mistaken, it's the top 5 that get stage points. So, especially with the guys that are on the cut, they're going to look to try to get somewhere in the top 5 and eke out one more point because 1 point could decide if they make the playoffs or not.
Definitely, that is something that all of them are under serious consideration for, as everyone in the field has gone into pit except for Quinn Gingrich and Kevin Carter, who I think are just registered on pit road. Yeah, you can see that up there. All right, so now as the pace cars are back to the pace car is bringing the field back out to 2 wide. We don't have too much left to go with Sean Howell on the outside of Brandon Hoff on the start. We're going to have Lucas Strayer bringing up 3rd with Derek Stanley on the outside. Clint Spillman down in 6th. Keep an eye on him. He's going to be important, but he does have Chris Sawyer very close behind. These two going to be battling here on the bubble. All right, they're going to be leaving turn 4 now as we head towards the front stretch here at Rockingham, North Carolina for the NIS Service Last Chance 100. The pace car comes off, and here we go now. Down there it is, green flag, and away we go here at Rockingham. We see Brendan Hoff off to a great start, and Sean Howell dives right down to throw a huge block there on Lucas Strayer. Whoa, huge checkup we're seeing right there as Clint Spillman moves all the way to the outside, not letting anyone through as he's trying to get by Derek Stanley right now. 2 wide as they head down the backstretch into turn number 3. Derek Stanley has the position. Oh no! And we see the number 30 of Mitchell Muma come up and take out Clint Spillman. And there it is. That is going to be the caution. Oh, and another huge crash into Clint Spillman there. From, I believe that was the 28 of Justin Bruins. Unfortunate there for Clint Spillman.
Yeah, it's, that's just one of those. It looks like one of those racing incidents. It's just something you can't happen, especially on cold tires. Cold tires on a hot track, you're gonna be sliding, so you have to wait a little bit till the tire temps come up. But it looked from here like it was just a mistake.
Definitely, it didn't look like it was anything too intentional, but you can see just how much of a big of a dive that the 30 was taking there. We're gonna go ahead and bring that up on stream once again, so you can go ahead and see what happened there to our audience. I mean, what an impressive move that Clint was able to do. Instead of taking out 8 people, he just took out 2. I mean, that was really close racing that they had going on there.
Oh yeah, I'm actually going back and to see what happened because I was busy watching Sean and Brandon, and it looks like Mitch's truck just went up the track a little bit, but with Clint saving it and only collecting a few other cars, I mean, it's easy to come get that repaired.
Yeah, definitely. And it doesn't look, aside from that, second hit that we saw there with Justin, into the rear. I mean, that's only a fast repair worthy if he really got some bad damage. But other than that, it really wasn't too bad.
No, it was just from the rear end, it looks like Clint's truck it's got some damage to the back, but other than that, it should be all right. I mean, it might be a couple of seconds of optional repair, which around here, I mean, you've got time to do, unless it's like 10 minutes, and then you just have to pray that there's caution after caution after caution, so you can come in and get it repaired, so you can be around when the end of the race comes around.
Definitely. Well, as that is going to be our stage caution, even if it was not manually thrown, we're going to go ahead and bring up your stage winner, the number 9 of Brendan Hoff. Brendan, is Nathan Jeremy up at the booth? Do you read us?
I do.
Well, you just got yourself another stage win here at the Tuesday Night Truck League. How are you feeling?
Right now, pretty good. What do we have? 60 to go here.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, just trying to, save my tires a little bit over a run. That was what I was trying to do at the beginning part. Try not to push it too much. I know coming from 13th or 14th, wherever I started, it's difficult to save tires when you're coming through the field. But I felt like I did a pretty good job. Me and Sean were pretty equal there, but I felt like after the big wreck on the backstretch, or the single car wreck on the backstretch, with about, I don't know, 15 to go, I was able to, get the runoff too. And I guess he checked up thinking they were going to come back up the track, and I was able to get by. So, yeah, pretty happy with that stage. I'd call it successful for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, being able to come up from 13th up into first within just a stage and only one caution beforehand, I mean, like, that's obviously very impressive. But as you said, you and Sean are pretty competitive there.
Yeah, I think Sean's been pretty fast all practice, and he's been pretty good this race. Historically, over a run, me and Sean are pretty equal on times. Any race we do together over the long run. So, if we can stay close here this run, I think it'll be a good race for the win here near the end. And I know Luke was pretty even with us too. So I think it'll be a good race here. Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, before I let you go, is there anything you want to say to our audience?
Tune in. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, Brendan. I appreciate it. Good luck.
All right. Thank you.
All right. That was the number 9 of Brendan Hoff in his Valvoline truck there. A 6.5K ironing. I mean, like, that's insane.
It is. It just, some of the races I've seen him run, it's truly amazing what talent this kid's got. He's clean. He knows when to push it. It's like you said, he was saving. To me, it looked like he was just trying to get to the front, but it's kind of hard to judge if you're saving, if you're not saving. Some people just know how to save and still be fast. And then you got guys like me, you pretty much do the cold trickle, you get in there, push the gas, and turn left. I'm the worst one for that. I get in the truck, I don't know how to save. I've asked him numerous times, like, hey man, how do you save a truck? He's just like, it's all practice. I'm like, well, I ain't got that time of practice. I was like, just slap me 4 good years on the car, and I'll try to get as far as I can with what I got.
Absolutely. Well, that was quite a restart. We just had a lot of cars getting into each other, especially Clint Spillman. He had like at least 4 contacts there. He did not take their fast repair. His truck is still heavily damaged after that one. I saw him getting in, going to tap of the rear bumper of a car in front of him. I mean, this is going to be an exciting race here at Rockingham. We're seeing a lot of guys all very close up together, a very bunched up field. We see there, especially towards the rear end of the field, that is going to be the number 75, the Sandinoto, shooting up on the inside of Brett Murphy. I mean, these guys are all on the move here. I don't think anyone's giving anyone a break at this point. Everyone is on the move.
No, I mean, you got 55 laps. I think everybody's kind of know what everybody's got. It's time to go. You can't wait any longer, especially if it's going to be a long green flag, which I don't think it's going to be a long green flag. We might have one come out with 20 to go, and it'd be a short sprint to the finish. But right now, you got to get what you got to get. I mean, it's like in the race, it's the last chance. It's your last chance to make the playoffs. So you've got to get it. You got to give it 110%.
Well, one race we definitely have to watch right now for this playoff run, it has to be between Chris Sawyer and Clint Spillman. These two are next to each other in terms of position, separated by one lapped car. Make that another car there as they now go through turns 1 and 2. The 68 of John Boyer in the way between them. I mean, what a race that these two have here to get into that playoff spot. Chris Sawyer, currently running in 7th, is the best hope for the moment.
Oh yeah, he's saved his stuff now. he knows it's time to go. He can't wait around. He can't wait for another caution. He's got to get what he can get now. So he's playing it smart. I think if he has a good finish, I know he missed last week. That really set him back because up till then he was to the good. But with him missing the race last week, he's having to give it everything he's got tonight to make it.
Absolutely, but what he's trying to do right now is chase down that number 21 of Jacob McMillan in his JHM Racing. Is that Ford? Yeah, I think that's the Ford.
It's either
it's a Toyota.
It looks like a Toyota.
There. I didn't have a good angle. The Tundra. He's chasing him down, trying to get those points, as many as he can. Jacob McMillan was running a lot towards the rear so far of this race, but he's finally caught back up to the front of the field, and he's putting on a good show for the moment, holding up Chris Sawyer and actually making sure that he's not losing too much time to Derek Stanley out in front of him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's about a good 2 seconds. Derek's about a good 2 seconds ahead of Chris. I think right now Chris is just buying his time, and see if anything else happens, because anything in this race can happen, and it probably will happen.
Absolutely, but one person that's been able to make a really good recovery has been Sean Howell. He had a really not great restart, losing a whole bunch of positions, going down to 5th at the lowest, I believe. He's already back up to 3rd, and he's currently chasing down the 2nd place position of the 41 of Lucas Strayer. As Lucas Strayer, we're seeing right now, is catching the number 9 of Brendan Hoff, your leader.
Yeah, I had just turned it back to Lucas Strayer, and I'm like, wow, he's actually staying up with him. And that could be Brandon is probably saving his stuff, because if something happens, he knows everybody behind him is coming for him. So it just hope that Luke doesn't outrun his stuff.
Yes, that absolutely is something he needs to keep an eye on. I mean, if he's going to push really hard, he has to make sure he does it right. Pushing too hard in a bad spot is only going to create issues for later. But for right now, as he's trying to chase down that number 9 Valvoline truck, he's doing a good job, and hopefully it will mean that later on we're going to see a very exciting finish, especially now as Sean Howell is getting a bit of a chance to catch up.
Yeah, let me get him back. Oh yeah, he's just biding his time. I believe he's saving his stuff too, and which is smart. I mean, but then again, I mean, he's already in the playoffs. He doesn't really need to save. He just needs to try to catch Brandon, because I believe between him and Brandon, it's definitely going to be a good race. It might be a photo finish like they used to have back in the days when they raced here at the Rock.
For sure. Well, your entire top 5, minus your leader of Brendan Huff, are all locked into the playoffs, which means that the real fight is down in the field. But we're seeing issues there, as Chris Sawyer has fallen to 8th, and he's currently under attack from Brett Murphy, but Clint Spillman is not doing too hot either, having fallen back to 11th after starting off really well in this race. I mean, unfortunate that Clint has been struggling so far, but that's the kind of stuff that you expect right now with how intense all this racing is. But this is a chance right now he has to keep an eye on. He has Mitchell Muma in front of him, and the question is he going to race him clean?
I suspect he should, because I mean, Clint's got a damaged truck. It looks like Mitch has got a fairly clean truck. I believe he used his fast repair in that last caution that he had. So I don't expect a fight being put up, knowing that Mitch has the fastest car right now.
Definitely, but we're seeing right now Mitchell Mumo looking to the inside there of the number 75, Sam Denoto, trying to get by and get a lapped car out of the way, but Sam is not making it easy for him, which is interesting, as he is a lap down.
Yeah, I have to start calling Sam Ryan Newman, because, you know, Ryan Newman's the hardest one to pass.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, that is for sure true. I mean, we have seen Sam, whenever we're following along with him, block pretty well, so I think this league's Ryan Newman is probably a pretty good description of him. Looking up a little bit further in your field, we're going to follow along with the number 64, Brett Murphy. He's had a bit of damage on his truck since the start of this race, but he's kept it under control and is in a solid 8th position. He's not giving anything to anybody, but he's also he definitely has some clean air by himself right now as he's chasing down the number 68 of John Boer.
Yeah, that's a very nice looking truck. I didn't get to see what everybody's throwback scheme was for this race, but it's one of the nice looking ones that I've seen. But of course, I'm kind of partial to mine. But other than that, there's a lot of good looking trucks out here tonight.
There absolutely is, and that's a good thing that we always see about this league. Is always the fantastic paint schemes we see. We saw that Eldora, the first race that I was able to broadcast for you guys. I mean, everyone was rocking a fantastic paint scheme there, as they have been throughout the rest of the season so far. I love the throwback that we're seeing here on Alex Fox. I believe that's Tim Richmond for the Folgers. Yeah, it is Tim Richmond. I made a car for that. But it does look good. I mean, you just gotta love all the paint schemes you can see out here. The Talladega Nights throwback that Derek Stanley's running, the Wonder Bread.
Oh yeah, now he just needs to have the big old Fig Newton on the windshield.
I don't know if you noticed, but on his window banner, he did put Fig Newtons.
Oh, did he? I didn't even see that.
You see, look, he paid attention to the details. Always gotta love it though. The little details
okay, I see that. Yeah,
that's
pretty good. I didn't even catch that.
Brandon Hoff is running away with this race though, currently 2.3 seconds ahead of your second place of Sean Howell, who was able to get by Lucas Strayer, and it looks like Lucas Strayer is, well, it looks like you were right. He burned up his stuff.
Yeah, when I saw he got close to Brandon that one a couple of laps ago, I was like, looked like he might have bit off more than he could chew, and now you're seeing he's paying for it now as he just moved back to third.
He does have a second gap between him and Derek Stanley, though, and the question is will that be enough? Did Derek not kill all this stuff, or did Lucas just absolutely obliterate everything he had and is going to continue to fall back throughout this field? That is the question we have to ask with Lucas Strayer here tonight.
That is definitely true. I mean, from the view that I'm looking at, it looks like it's pretty much stable. He's not pulling away. Derek's not getting close, but he might be blowing it down. Like, all right, I need to save a little bit just in case if we get a long green flag run.
Definitely. But here at the Last Chance 100 presented by NIS Service, we're going ahead and take a look at in 10th place. The number 3 of Chris Sawyer is currently still ahead of Clint Spillman. This is your bubble spot here tonight. You have to pay attention to. It looks like Clint Spillman has gone into the pits. He is not going to be taking, sadly, you know, he's going to be losing some time there, but sometimes.
Yeah, I guess he couldn't ride it out anymore. I mean, when you get damage to any part of the truck, it's like throwing a parachute out. I mean, you're going to be slow. You're going to get past, and he was hoping a quick caution would come out so he wouldn't lose his track position, but it just looks like he couldn't wait any longer, especially if he with almost 30 laps left in the race, he had to try something, and he just didn't get the yellow that he needed.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the tough part. That is the risk he had to take. Did he come in earlier, you know, to take the faster pair and stuff, or did he have to risk getting involved in another wreck and losing it, and losing a lot more positions? But you never know. I mean, this is the cool part about motor racing, is it really is up to chance. There is no guarantees here in NASCAR. And that goes across all the series. I mean, you know certain drivers are going to be faster than others. You know certain teams are. But here on iRacing, where all the equipment is the exact same when it comes to the what's on track and not at home, I mean, it's all about the hands on the wheel and what you can do with it. And right now, it looks like, and up in your brain too, but right now it looks like Brandon Hoff is able to run away with this thing for the moment. But sadly, it looks like Clint Spillman did not make the bet he needed. But at least he has 4 fresh Goodyear tires, enough fuel, and a fresh truck.
Oh yeah, I mean, he only lost. He lost 2 laps. At least he still has a shot. He's got his fast repair. He is coming strong with 4 Goodyear tires. He's going to at least get one of his laps back, and then when he passes Brandon to get only 1 lap down, now he really needs to hope that a yellow will come out, because if he is the only car on the lead lap, which I think it looks like Sam is a lap down also, so he's going to have to get around Sam too, and with the tires he's got, I don't see that being a problem.
Definitely, as we're seeing him here pass now Brandon. I imagine he's going to do it here. Yep. Brandon already knows he's faster. He's going to let him by. I mean, that's the kind of good stuff you hope to see is, you know somebody's got faster tires. Even if you're the leader, there's no reason to cause anybody hell.
No, I mean, that's the way I would want it. I mean, if I knew somebody was on tires behind me, I'm not even going to fight. I was like, just take the spot. I mean, there's no point of risking both our races, and you try to be greedy. So it was pretty smart that Brandon moved out the way.
Definitely. But that has allowed him now to almost increase that gap up to 5 seconds between Brandon Hoff and Sean Howell. Sean actually getting a little bit of closing right now on Lucas Strayer, who's been slowly whittling away that gap. And it looks like that gap between Strayer and Stanley has remained about the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like Strayer kind of let everything settle back down. Now he's making a late race push to try to finish second.
McDonald into the wall there as we're now leaving turn number 4. That is going to allow them to get by a lot easier. However, that is going to be bad for Ben now as he's going to be currently the 3rd car up currently running that's registered in. I mean, that sucks. Getting constantly involved with wrecks and stuff. Sometimes this track is just really hard to drive.
It is. It's real bumpy, especially going into 3 and 4. I mean, I felt like I was going down a country road in North Carolina because a lot of the country roads around here are bumpy. They don't know how to pave them. So I think the North Carolina DOT takes care of this track because they don't fill in the bumps or anything.
I was gonna make a couple roads in upstate joke, but it looks like you guys have it even worse than we do, and we have winters.
Well, I mean, if we want to talk about the bumpiest roads I've ever been on, that's South Carolina, and Rockingham's not far from South Carolina. So I mean,
it's all the connections. They're finally showing through. We figured it out.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like South Carolina forgot they had roads.
Sean Howell now coming into pit road. He's going to be taking 4 fresh tires, as so is Derek Stanley. It looks like these guys are not going to be able to make it on fuel. So this might actually be a really great time for someone like Clint Spillman, who already came in. He's going to be getting his lap back. He's going to have enough fuel, and he's going to have fresh enough tires.
See, everything happens for a reason. I mean, if he hadn't gotten that wreck and had to come in, I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't even think about fuel strategy. Normally, that's not on my brain when I'm in the truck. I'm just trying to go. And then when I got my teammates, it was like, "Hey, how much gas you got left?" And I was like, "Crap, I forgot about fuel." I mean, when you get in these trucks and as soon as you crank that engine, I mean, you got one mindset. You want to go out there and win, but you got all these other aspects in the race to think about: tires, fuel. I always forget about fuel because I always think, oh, I've got plenty of fuel, and then when I go back and look, and I've got 2 laps left, I'm like, should have thought about fuel more.
Your leader went on to pit road. That's going to put Mitchell Muma out into first place now. He's going to be able to get a lap led. That is going to be a couple extra, things to talk about there. I mean, getting a lap led, even if it's in NASCAR, we have 100 laps here at Rockingham. But still, it's always cool to say it's like, hey, I led a lap here. Especially after a big, accident that he was in there right before the stage. So, I mean, good for him being able to get that.
Yeah.
Brett Murphy's going to be able to get one too.
Oh yeah. It looks like when Mitch is coming down, he might get his fast repair, or I think he might have already used it up, to be honest with you. But it looks like he's got a little front end damage. He might come in and get it fixed a little bit. But I mean, I've led a lap or 2 here before, and it always feels good to lead a lap at your home track.
Absolutely. One thing I'm looking at right now, which is a bit interesting, is that Brett Murphy has 3 pit stops, while most everyone else has 2, minus a couple drivers that were involved with incidents. I wonder if this means that Brett Murphy actually has enough in his tank to get to the end. It looks like his tires are completely shot, though, and that's something he has to keep an eye out for.
Oh yeah, with everybody on fresh Goodyear tires, it's going to be a tall task to hold the guys with fresh rubbers back. But I've done that strategy before. I got caught up in an early wreck. I come down pit road anytime a caution comes out. I'll come back and I'll top off. I'll top off. I'll top off. No matter if I make a lap around, I'm gonna come back in, and that little bit of gas I did use, I'm gonna get it right back. So that could definitely play into the factor on how this race ends.
Well, the one thing that Brett Murphy does not want right now is a caution, and looking at the way these all-lap cars are racing, it looks like that is just a moment's notice away. As they head, I believe that was almost 3 wide into turn 3 there. These guys are on the brink. They are going all out. They want these final positions here as we're heading almost into 15 to go here at the Last Chance 100. And when we mean last chance, we mean it. Playoffs are in 2 weeks' time. We have an off week next week. And right now, it looks like Brett Murphy is in a good spot, and he's going to get chased down by Brendan Hoff, Sean Howell, and Clint Spillman. Clint Spillman right now has a really big gap between him and the 5th place of Lucas Strayer, but the one gap that is really important to Clint right now is he has a huge gap between him and Chris Sawyer. It looks like that strategy that Clint took has allowed him to get into a great spot as he skims the wall there going down Thunder Alley, the backstretch here at Rockingham.
Yeah, I'm sitting here watching Brett come down the backstretch and just watching everybody just pass him. I know that's a helpless feeling. I've done it before, but I mean he's made his bed. He's got to lie in it. I mean, just that last lap, he lost 2 seconds to Brandon. So I don't know. It's gonna be a tall, tough task if the caution don't come out. I mean, right now I can see Brandon coming just off turn 2, and looks like Brett's coming into pit road now.
Oh, that is the case. He must just not have had enough fuel to make it. That is unfortunate. As he slides there, almost heading into pit road, that is going to surely put him towards the rear as Brandon Hoff and Sean Howell are going to be battling for right now, as I believe Sean is going to be in the lead there.
Yeah, Sean's going to take over the lead. I'm like, wow, I was sitting there watching the intervals and everything between Murphy and Brandon, and it showed Murphy first and Hoff second. I wonder what in the world happened. How did Sean get around Brandon?
Well, sometimes that's just the thing that happens here. You know, a bit of a slide heading in and hitting the paint on one of the turns, or who knows what. Sometimes just stuff happens. And we already saw that Brett was losing tons of time with how much he was, you know, his tires were just absolutely killed. So right now, this is a really good point for Sean Howell. He has a 2-second gap between him and Brandon Hoff, who's getting passed right now by a bunch of trucks. Lucas Strayer notably getting by. This is really going to change things up right now.
It definitely is. With Sean already clinched a spot, Brandon just out here running for fun. It's definitely going to shake everything up.
Alex Fox takes 2nd place, Lucas Strayer in 3rd. Your top 3 all locked into the playoffs. Your 5th place as well, Clint Spillman, currently right now getting chased down by a bunch of guys that have fresher tires in it. However, he still was on a good strategy and is probably going to have enough to make it. The question is was it better than Chris Sawyer's, who is right now 20 seconds behind the leader and about 10 behind Spillman?
Yeah, I mean everybody's kind of made their beds. There ain't nothing you can do with it. With 9 to go, it's definitely going to be interesting. I hope a caution comes out. I want to see everybody bunched back up for a 5-lap shootout.
That would be
a
sight to see. That is for sure. With just how insane this track is currently in its state, and how many guys are on the brink of fuel and their tire wear.
Yeah, come on caution. But I know it ain't gonna happen unless the racing gods is like, hey, let's give these guys a good show.
Well, I mean, we've already had a fantastic show tonight so far. That is for sure. Everyone has been able to race quite cleanly and really make something happen here tonight, as we see Brett Murphy still getting passed for a lot of positions right now. He might have been out of tires and only needed fuel, but that is still going to make things hard on him. Yeah, you can see him there. He's a lot slower.
Oh yeah, he's struggling. He might have used all his sets up, because I think you're only allotted either 3 or 4. And you said he made multiple pit stops during the race, so he probably just took a splash of gas and then just kind kind of go back out there and trying to finish the race as best as he can.
Definitely, but right now what we're seeing is Brandon Hoff still really struggling for the moment. Derek Stanley able to get by, and right now Brandon has to worry about John Boer going to be catching up soon once he gets by the lap trucks here. I mean, that's an interesting spot to be in. Brandon is not known for falling back this hard unless he's trying to hope a last lap 5 dash here and try to take back the win again, but I don't see that happening right now. He's 3 seconds back from Sean, and he's still falling.
Yeah, he might be. He's even though that he might not even make the playoffs with him coming so early. He's like, well, he's like, I know a lot of these guys are trying to make it. He's just probably giving them some help. I mean, he's like, hey, I know y'all are racing for a lot more than what I'm racing for. Here, just have it, because each spot can be that 1 point, 2 points, 3 points of making it to the playoffs. So he's just probably like, hey, y'all racing for a championship. I'll get out the way. Y'all have it.
Definitely, that's something we're seeing a lot of right now as we head into lap number 98 of 100. We have 3 to go here at Rockingham. I am excited to see this last couple laps play out here and if we're going to see any green-white checkers. Right now, we're looking back a little bit towards the field. We see that Clint Spillman is losing time to Chris Sawyer, who in that number 3 Tracker Boats Bass Pro Shop truck is catching up. He is closing that gap, and it is going to be a finish between these two to see who gets the playoffs.
Yeah, it sure is. It's gonna be close. It looks like Chris has got fresher tires, but is it too little, too late?
I think it is, as we're on lap number 99 right now with Sean Howell as we round turn number 4 going down the front stretch. We're about to hit the white flag here at Rockingham with the NIS Last Chance 100 at Rockingham. There it is, lap 100 of 100 here at Rockingham. Sean Howell rounding turn number 2 right now, heading down Thunder Alley, the backstretch here at Rockingham, this historic NASCAR speedway, which hopefully they'll return one day as he goes through the bumpy turns of 3 and 4 to the front stretch where he's going to cross the line very shortly and win here at the NIS Last Chance 100. What a win that he was able to do, especially in these last couple laps.
Oh yeah, I mean, I knew it would be between Brandon or Sean, but the last couple of laps, it was very exciting to see Sean come out here and win this.
Definitely. I mean, it was kind of like a surprising thing too with how dominant that we saw Brandon earlier on. But I mean, that just changes things up a lot. And sometimes that's just the stuff that happens here, especially at a track like Rockingham, where there's millions of factors going on at once. As Sean Howell does his well-deserved donuts right here for winning such a fantastic race.
Oh yeah. Is he doing the burnouts?
Absolutely. I mean, like, how can you not want to celebrate that?
I just want to do donuts. I think I care about the donuts more than I care about a win.
Lucas Strayer gets third, though. I mean, what a good finish out of him, too. He was able to hold off Derek Stanley and, close up a big gap. He was able to do a really great job this race. And more importantly, right now, in terms of, playoffs, Clint Spillman beat Chris Sawyer. 9th and 10th, these two extremely close. But it looks like Spillman was just able to take it.
Yeah, it's definitely, when the points come out, it's definitely going to be close.
It absolutely is, and I'm honestly really excited to see what happens next here at the Tuesday Night Truck League, otherwise known as TNT. I mean, it's just really cool to see the intense racing that not only we saw out of these guys, but just how intense it got. No one let up for a second. They all were on each other the entire time, and even when people were running away, they still had lots of things to worry about here at this high-banked, short 1 mile circuit.
Yeah, even though we're going to the next race is Bristol. You know how Bristol is. It's going to be like Martinsville. That's going to be another one. And that's going to be a key race because you want to start the playoffs out strong. That's going to be another curveball with as small as Bristol, high bank, and fast. You've got to be almost perfect to come out clean in that race.
Especially for 120 laps. I mean, like, it is going to be a nightmare for those guys. stage on 50 still, but like that's going to be a rough one. And then they have a lot of interesting tracks up next: Auto Club, Vegas, and Homestead. I mean, that's going to round out your season. Not too much left here at the TNT League. It's just interesting to see, what the strategy is going to be out of everyone to see how they race.
Yeah, especially 120 laps. Now that you mentioned it, I might need to go practice a little bit for that race in 2 weeks. Oh boy, oof. I didn't realize it was that long.
Well, it also affects you too, because you're also a little bit on the bubble there for the playoffs, just almost kind of guaranteed.
Yeah, that's why I hated I missed this race tonight. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything about it, but I'm kind of regretting my decision from last week. But I'm gonna leave it at that. But this was definitely fun. I mean, seeing the race play out from a different perspective. I guess I can enjoy my night of being Clint Boyer and go back and get my race car where I feel comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll give you a little bit of insight now and what things to look for now that you've seen it from the outside perspective. And now I'm going to give a chance to bring up our third place finisher, Lucas Strayer, here and congratulate him on a fantastic P3 finish. Lucas, it's Noah and Jeremy up in the booth. Do you read us?
I read you guys loud and clear.
Awesome. That's great to hear. You just finished in third place here at the Last Chance 100. You already locked in the playoffs, but how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I couldn't get a really handle of the track, but yeah, I mean, I'll take third. I thought I had roughly like the third or fourth place car all day, so happy to. I probably had the fourth place car, but Brandon forgot tires, so that was a nice.
Oh well,
gift
that
there.
explains it.
Yeah.
We were wondering what he was falling back so much for, but
yeah, he forgot to put his tires on, so that was a gift.
Hey, it definitely was, because you were on his back bumper, and then all of a sudden he shot out like a rocket, and then next thing I know, you're back up there again, and I'm like, what's going on? It's like,
yeah,
something happened.
I'm mad I didn't pit on the same lap as Sean. If I would have done that, maybe I could have gave him more of a run for his money since I was right there. But I pitted on the wrong lap, so lost like a second. Fought with Fox, so.
Still, I mean, what a great race you were able to put on.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy for it. Got a cool car design on today. The old throwback to David Gilliland, his one start in that truck. So thanks to Sean Howe Designs for that car. But also, Jeremy, we have a special guest for you tonight.
Uh-oh.
Because Fox cannot give his interviews, you guys get to interview Derek Stanley instead.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, he ain't gonna like that, but I guess he's just gonna have to suck it up.
he said you get one question. But yeah, happy for the race. Happy how it turned out. Happy for my sponsors. Happy that you guys got to put on another amazing broadcast. Yeah, I'll take a third and I'll go into the playoffs and watch Brandon destroy us all. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, just make sure I'm in the playoffs too.
I gotta look at the points. Apparently, I gotta look at the points. We gotta see how it turned out. I know it's gonna be close between Chris and Quinn.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I hated it for Chris. I mean, he was doing good there for a little bit, and his little like truck fell off. So I mean, I hope he gets
finished 10th. I mean, that's a top 10.
Yeah, it's top 10, but I'm pretty sure he wanted to get in front of Clint.
Yeah, but yeah. Thanks for hearing me, guys, and thanks for everything. Anything else?
Well, I was gonna see. Do you have anything you want to say to our audience out here, Lucas?
Hi family. If you watch this, I finished third. I'm trying my best. I'll hopefully get a win when you guys are watching.
He didn't end up on his lid this time.
That's
I didn't.
True.
That's a win.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, Lucas. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks again, guys.
Congratulations. All right. Well, I guess it's time to bring up Derek Stanley. Do you want to ask him the question?
He's gonna hate it.
I'll give you the opportunity to handle it.
All right.
Derek, it's Noah and Jeremy up in the booth. Do you read us?
Yep, I copy.
So, buddy. So, you finished fourth.
Yeah,
How'd you do it? How'd you do it?
just kept my tires clean. Just try to save them the best I could.
Yeah, we were sitting there talking about your truck earlier in the broadcast, and I was looking as you were in the cockpit, and I was like, we were talking about the paint schemes that we were doing tonight, and I saw that you were driving the Ricky Bobby car, and thought popped in my brain. I was like, you know what? That made that car more authentic if he had the Fig Newtons on the windshield. And Noah was like, yeah, well, he does have it on there. I'm like, wait, what? And I turned the truck around and I saw it, and I was like, well, that's pretty cool, but I'd rather have the logo on the windshield.
Yeah, I just got it off Trading Paints.
Hey, there you go. That's the way
Yeah.
to do it.
Well, it still looks
Well-
great, and you had a great finish tonight. I mean, I'm glad you were able to keep it clean, and I know you were struggling a little bit at Martinsville. So coming up and finishing in a really nice top 5 position, how are you feeling?
Feeling good. Happy with the race. It was a real clean race. Only 2 cautions, I think.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
good.
Especially because I'm
Complain about.
no, because I mean when I went out there for a couple of practice laps, I was like, man, about after 10 laps, there's gonna be a lot of cars losing it. It's just the way everybody was driving in practice, but the way y'all went through the race and kept it clean, I mean, I give it to you. I mean, with a tough, difficult racetrack this is, with how hot it was, I think track temp was like 114. I'm surprised we didn't see a lot of trucks lose it, and y'all kept it clean the whole entire race.
Yeah, it just got tight on the long run, but it was
Hey,
fun
well,
to
that
drive.
kind of stuff happens. I just want to let you know there, Derek. You have a fan over in the chat right now.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, Mitchell's cheering you on. Hashtag Team Stanley. You got a fan.
Oh, hell yeah. Team Stanley, go.
Well, how are you going
Yeah.
to celebrate this P4 position?
Probably go out, have a nice joint.
All right.
Have your celebration. Yeah, that's my celebration.
All right. Well, is there anything you want to say to our fans out there?
Have a great night, guys. Yeah. Thanks for doing all this stuff. Great having a broadcast here.
I'm very glad to do it. And I want to thank Jeremy for being up here with me. So, Derek, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Buddy.
You too. All right, that was the number 26 of Derek Stanley. Not an interview guy. Not an interview guy.
No, he's definitely not an interview. I remember back when we ran another league. I've known Derek, I've known Mitch for going on 12 years now, and we were in another league together, and the first time Derek got a top 5 in the league, he didn't know anything about the broadcast. He was just racing it because me and Mitch was racing it, and they brought him up. He had no idea what was going on, and he's like, I just don't like being interviewed. He's like, that creeped me out. But I mean, when Luke said he was going to bring him in here, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get him. But
Well, he at least handled it okay. It's better than some of the stuff I've seen in the past.
that's true.
All right, well, it's time to bring up your race winner. The number 38 is Sean Howell. Sean, it's Noah and Jeremy up in the booth. Do you read us?
Copy. Gotcha.
You just got yourself a race win after starting on the front row. How are you feeling, man?
Very good. Yeah, I was chasing that win for the past, I don't know which race we're on, but chasing it for past 8-7 races. I don't know what race we're on, but been chasing it for a while. We gotten close. Finally got one done tonight.
Well, I mean, you completely dominated this race. Come on, a 1.5 second gap to Alex Fox. Come on, man.
Oh, we got lucky. Brandon, he made a mistake on pit road and forgot to check his tires. So, and then that put us in the right spot. We had a second place truck that race, and that mistake on pit road was able to give me that little advantage I needed. I was planning on pitting a couple laps early before Brandon to at least try to make up that gap he had on me originally. But not taking tires and forgetting to check them really helped, and we were able to get it done tonight.
Well, I would absolutely say you really were. How are you going to celebrate this race win?
Just gotta keep carrying that momentum into the playoffs now. We got the first win right before the playoffs here, and then just gotta get it done. I think Bristol's our next race, and I've never raced on Bristol other than on the dirt Bristol, so gotta try to figure that out.
Go ahead and start practicing, Sean, because I'm going ahead and tell you, we're going to need a lot of fast repairs in 2 weeks because I've run that race before. It's not fun. I mean, because your truck gets super tight, especially at nighttime. It might even be loose. But I know I didn't have a right side truck left anymore because I had just rubbed it on the wall. But I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, after this race, get in the practice session and run as many laps as you can because it's you think Martinsville was good, this is gonna be better.
Yeah, Bristol's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be kind of similar to Rockingham to a degree. It's gonna be high banked, fast, but just
But it's also concrete,
a
so
lot closer to the wall at Bristol, and a lot more no, not enough room to make mistakes like Rockingham. You got a little bit more room on Rockingham, but Bristol, it's make a mistake and you're probably gonna get some damage.
yeah, you're definitely gonna get some damage, and some other people are going to get into you because everybody's reaction rate is a lot different. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be fun in 2 weeks when we come back.
It absolutely is. Well, how are you going to celebrate this race win there, Sean?
Well, we got day off tomorrow, so just have fun with it. And as Spencer Gallagher says, party like it's 1999 or 1980, whatever it was.
Well, I
ain't
think
never heard that.
It's okay. Well, I mean, you had a fantastic race win there, and well, I think you definitely deserved it with the dominant performance you put on and the speed that you showed out all weekend. Is there anything you want to say over to our audience there, Sean?
Just appreciate everyone watching. Appreciate the sponsors that came on board this season. Hope everyone enjoyed the race.
All right, well, thank you very much, and well, we'll have to see you in 2 weeks' time, hopefully.
Yep, we'll see you then.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, that was the number 38 of Sean Howell, who ran a fantastic race here tonight. Jeremy, what are your final thoughts here on the race that we just saw?
Oh man, okay. What I take back, probably Brandon moving over to let the people race it out for the playoffs. I had no idea he didn't check his tires. I've made that mistake before, and it's a gut wrench knowing that you're the fastest car. You're out here dominating. You had a 5-second lead, and going into the last pit stop, one little minor mistake can mess everything up. But then again, I mean, it did help. It did help some of the guys that were on the bubble. But other than that, I mean, the race played out completely different than what I thought. With it being a hot racetrack, I figured there was going to be a lot of slipping and sliding out there, like we saw in practice. People trying to give it their all, try to get that one last spot to make it into playoffs. Yeah, it was a lot different than I expected.
Yeah, they definitely really held it together here at this race. I mean, I'm just as surprised as you are. I mean, everyone was really able to keep it under control. Just a couple wall taps and a couple slams. And, you know, one of the things that really changed up this race is that accident we saw between Muma and Spillman there. You know, that completely took Spillman out of the race for a bit there until he went, you know, and got his repair. Like, that really changed up the strategy that he had to take, and it changed up a lot of other people's too as he was on the bubble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, with that wreck happening, when he come down, he thought he was dead in the water coming down pit road and getting fresh tires and after that spin. But when everybody else saw him go down pit road and see how much tires mattered, everybody kind of followed suit. And then he got a top 10 out of it. I would have never thought he got a top 10 with coming in as early as he did. So, I mean, it just shows one little thing. It might happen, but it also leads to something else. I mean, if he hadn't have got wrecked, he might have not had that top 10. He could have had an incident on pit road. He could have come off pit road and spun it. But I mean, with him coming in early, I mean it helped him out there for towards the end of the race because everybody was having to come in because they were 10 laps short of the full distance, and he was able to sneak away with a couple more spots.
Absolutely. It really changed up this race, and, you know, Brandon's thing, that changed it up too, as you were talking about before. I mean, like, honestly, what a race that we really saw here at the NIS Last Chance 100. Really good show out of everybody. I think this is going to be a good one for people to go ahead and watch back. And thank you for being up here in the booth. I really appreciate it. It's definitely made things a bit more lively.
Yeah, I mean, now I was like, this has been fun, but I'm ready to hop back in my race car. This is fun to do, but I think I feel a little bit more comfortable in the race car.
Well, if you ever get an opportunity to come back up, you're more than welcome here at twitch.tv/4cloak.
All right, I appreciate it. Yeah, I even got your banner on my truck, so I mean, I appreciate everything you did. Coming to the league and broadcasting it. I've uh, I've watched a lot of the streams back and forth, especially after Eldora. I mean, if you could see my face during that last couple of laps, man, I was really on the wheel to that third place finish, and because when I told you in the interview, I was like, man, I am not a dirt racer, but that right there, I mean, I it just amazed myself of how well I did in dirt, and especially in a truck. So I watch a lot of the old streams. I even watched last week's, but I, I'm it's like I'm not going into that one, but I watch a lot of them. So I appreciate you doing everything you're doing for the league.
Well, I'm glad to do it, that's for sure. So thanks once again for being up here. And, well, we're going to have to call it here, folks. It's 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so it's time for me to get to bed.
Me too.
Early hours.
6:30 comes way too quick now.
All right. Well, thank you everyone that has come out here so far. I appreciate it. Thank you to all the bits from Zach and Jesse and bit from Will there. I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. And thanks to everyone that's been able to chat and here. It's been really nice just to have a really good group of people here on the streams and a really great show that we get to see on the stream. So thanks once again for being here. I've been Noah Walter here on twitch.tv/4cloak. Thank you much to Pierce Graphics for putting together all of our fantastic overlays. They always look fantastic week in, week out. And make sure you check out the race on Sunday. That was Cascar. They had a special overlay for that. Throwback overlay, if you will, to the 1980s. So that was a pretty cool one. So that will be available on the VOD and then later on YouTube. So thanks once again for being here. I'm Noah Walter here on twitch.tv/4cloak. That was a space for you, Jeremy?
Oh, really? Oh, okay. And I'm Jeremy, driver of the 81 Auto Owners Toyota. It was a pleasure to be here, and we'll catch y'all in 2 weeks when we go to Bristol.
We'll catch you all in 2 weeks. Thanks, guys. Bye.